Have a good day.
Can you help me out with something?
What do you need?
There's a bunch of people that need help over. You guys help people, right?
What do you need?
Do you help people? I'm asking.
Yeah, getting in my way. It's called obstructing police operations.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to a call right now. So, if you don't need anything...
I wasn't in your way until you stopped, dumb.
Okay.
All right, folks, welcome back to San Joaquin Valley Transparency. Today we have a follow-up video with new developments. This video comes to you out of Phoenix, Arizona. On August 2nd, 2020, two Phoenix police officers, Brian Alvarado and Christopher Toriano, violated Department Policy B1A, paperwork requiring fingerprints. When a suspect refuses fingerprints, that physical force will not be used to obtain those fingerprints. That's exactly what they did to Kenneth McDonald. It's been discovered that these two officers are already on the Brady list.
Relax your hand.
Records show the alleged aggravated assault was against Officer Toriano. He's the main one trying to pry Kenny's fingers open. And if Toriano's name sounds familiar, that's because we've reported on him before. He's the cop who shot a protester in the groin with a gas rod. We exposed officers celebrated the shot with a special challenge coin, and that coin had language tied to hate speech. We also discovered Toriano was on the Brady list because of excessive force. In 2003, while assisting in a traffic stop, Officer Christopher Toriano forcibly removed a ring from a suspect, attempted to force his upper body onto the trunk of a patrol car, and then choked him, all while he was handcuffed. But Toriano wasn't the only officer on scene with a history. Remember the first officer, Brian Alvarado? Well, on the morning of trial, prosecutors claimed they just got a new internal investigation showing Alvarado submitted timesheets requesting to be paid for more hours than he worked.
After these two officers did nothing short of torture this man, they decided to try to ruin his life by charging him with felony aggravated assault on a police officer. These charges were dropped by the DA on the day that the trial started. What that means is that the district attorney continued to purposely make life difficult for McDonald by ignoring the facts and prolonging the true interest of justice. I believe the district attorney should also be investigated, and absolute immunity for the DA should not be an umbrella of protection for this case. I really don't see how qualified immunity will protect the cops in this case either, but police always seem to find ways to exonerate bad cops. So here's a quick rundown of what happened. The news reported that McDonald insulted a cop by calling him a dumbass. But the fact of the matter is, a cop cannot be the complainant of an insult or harassment when it comes to the First Amendment. McDonald was on his bike and asked an officer a question. When the cop responded in a condescending way, McDonald responded with some freedom of speech, calling him a little bitch or something like that. Next thing you know, for the next 10 minutes, these Phoenix cops plotted to get him on something. One cop says to the other, "You know we can go code 6 on him for riding left to center."
You know we could go code 6 and for riding left to center.
We could.
Then the other cop giggles, like if they know exactly how to get away with retaliation, intimidation, and abuse of authority. And that is exactly what they tried to do here.
Turn away from me.
What?
Turn away from me.
Why?
I'm going to take your fingerprint.
I'm not going to give you my fingerprints, man.
It's not up to you.
I know, but I'm just not going to.
Well, it's not up to you.
Okay, I know.
All right, we'll pull you out and we'll force you then.
I mean, I'll get out.
Okay, we're going to force you.
I mean, okay, force me all you want.
I was trying to be nice.
So when Toriano pulls up next to McDonald, McDonald knocks on the window of the police cruiser to get the cops' attention, to legitimately ask for assistance, which is not illegal. Toriano, who had already made up his mind to find a reason to get him on something, Toriano claims McDonald was in his way and was obstructing police operations. But the truth is, McDonald did not step in front of the cruiser until it was fully stopped. And that's when McDonald used his freedom of speech again and told the cop, "I wasn't in your way until you stopped, dumbass." Those words that are 100% protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution triggered Officer Toriano, and that's when he went hands-on and arrested him. What happens next is one of the most disgusting things that police can do to a man, and I hate to say it, but it looks like nothing short of torture. I'd like for you to read some of the comments that were on the original video. You can pause to read them and see that the people have had enough of this type of abuse by those we pay to protect and serve the communities.
We need to talk about Phoenix and its DOJ investigation. It began 22 months ago, and as a reminder, It focused on 5 main areas, including excessive force and retaliating against protesters. Now, since it began, the DOJ's finalized investigations against 2 other departments, Louisville Metro PD in March and Minneapolis just last week. And the findings in those 2 cities stand out. Quote, LMPD violates the rights of people engaged in protected speech, critical of policing. And criticism of officers, even with profanity, is protected speech. Nevertheless, MPD officers routinely respond to protected speech with arrests and with force. Our reporting has exposed major scandals, maybe none bigger than Phoenix inventing a fake gang to charge this group as members. But the DOJ reports in the other cities not only focus on the high-profile cases, but on lesser-known arrests too. One example, an officer put a team in a neck restraint after he yelled, "F the police."
All right, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning into this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for follow-ups on this. We'll definitely keep you posted. We bring you guys police news, police interaction videos as well, and I myself go out and record police and ask questions. One of the things that I was able to find out while asking police questions was that none of these cops seem to know the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Hey, I ask one cop one question, every cop that I encounter. You don't have to answer it, but you can, because it's not a political, it's not an opinion. But do you happen to know the First Amendment, the 5 points of the First Amendment, the Constitution?
Yep, I absolutely do.
Would you state it for the camera? Because we have a high percentage of cops that won't do it, and I want to change that.
That's like the one question asked that makes cops tuck tail and leave.
Can you tell me the first 5 points of the First Amendment? Can you tell me the first 5 points of the First Amendment?
There's no reason we have to go back and forth with you. As long as you understand that it's closed. We're going to come back in about 20 minutes.
This is a test to see whether or not
All right, sir. Have a great
you
day.
can honor your oath. And you failed miserably.
And we have hundreds of videos that prove what I'm saying. And because of that, we're going to teach you guys the First Amendment of the Constitution before you guys head out of here. You have freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and freedom to petition your government for a redress of grievances. So important, the Second Amendment was written to protect that. And keep in mind that the First Amendment and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, these documents weren't written to give you your rights. These documents were written to limit the scope of authority that cops and public officials have over we the people. Now think about this, folks. If every cop was actually sworn in and knew the oath that they're swearing to, would these types of things be happening? We have no choice but to teach ourselves, educate ourselves and each other, and always record the police, folks, whether it's your interaction or someone else's. You could possibly save your life or someone else's as well. When you stand up for your rights, you stand up for the rights of all the people. When you give up your rights and you just comply, you make it hard for every American. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you on the next video. Peace.